Hey everybody, Mr. Piercy here. What I'm going to be showing you today, we're still talking about constructions. And in this video, what I'm going to show you is how to make a perpendicular line that goes through another line, or goes through a point, but it's not on the original line. So what we're going to start off with is a line segment. And just like in the previous videos, we're going to just make a line segment, and I'm not measuring the line segment at all. It's just a general line segment for us to use. I'm going to call that point A and B. So now I have segment AB. Well, I want to make a point that's not on this line, and I'm going to put it above the line, but it doesn't matter if I put it below the line. The one thing that I'm going to do, and this is more for demonstration purposes than anything else, is I don't want this to look like it's going through the midpoint. So let's say we have a point here. Let's call that point C. I want to create a segment that is going to go through point C and be perpendicular to segment AB. So as with everything else, you need to have your straight edge and your compass to help you do your constructions. And because we're going to do something perpendicular through a line, we will at the end use the protractor to help us measure the angle and make sure that we did it correct. So on your notes or on a piece of paper, have a line segment. It doesn't need to be super long, but don't make it really short either, because the smaller the segment is, the harder the construction will be. So at this point, what we want to do is, okay, well, we have to figure out a way that I can make a line that goes through point C, from point C down through segment AB, and make a right angle. And we have to give ourselves some points of reference to work with. Now, again, depending on whether you're right-handed or left-handed, what we're going to do is you'll take the point of your compass and you'll place it at point C. Now, I'm going to do myself a favor. This is just to help me draw the construction. What I'm going to do, let me show you what I'm going to do first. From point C, what we're going to do is we're going to make a mark on segment A, at segment AB at two different places. Now, this is just to help me draw it. I'm going to turn my paper sideways because I'm right-handed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself an arc here and an arc here. We're intersecting segment AB at two different places. Now, I'm going to label those X and Y, those two intersections. X and Y is just completely arbitrary. There's nothing saying I have to call them X and Y, but I'm not going to use C, obviously. So anyway, what we're going to do now is what we've essentially done is we've created another segment from our on segment AB. And what we're noticing here, the reason why this is going to work is because the distance from C to Y and the distance from C to X is the same. So by creating these 2 points here, essentially what we're going to do now is find the midpoint of this smaller segment XY. So going back to the midpoint construction, again, I know the midpoint is somewhere here, somewhere where my finger is. So I'm going to open up my compass to be something larger than that, somewhere past where the midpoint is going to be. And let me go ahead and open up a little bit more so that way I don't go through point C. And I'm going to give myself an arc above segment AB and below segment AB. And that's a little hard to see here. Let me see if I can darken it in a little bit. Okay, and now I will simply move it to point X and repeat the process. I will create an arc above AB and an arc below AB, and ideally the arcs will intersect each other like you see on the screen. Now we can take our straight edge and line these up. And if we want to, we can call this, I don't know, we'll call this point of intersection, we can call that J, and we can call this point of intersection here, we can call that K. So now I will line up points J and K on my straight edge, and now I can draw a line that goes through segment AB. And now what we can do, just to make sure that we did our construction properly, is we can line our protractor up with the hole of the protractor, obviously at the vertex of the angle that we created. And coming up here, you can see it's directly at 90 degrees. So that is how we are going to construct a segment that is perpendicular to another segment through a point that's not on that segment, or line, uh, whichever one you want to think of it, line, segment. But that is how we would, perform that particular construction, and it's relatively useful as far as, anytime you need to have a perpendicular line, but not necessarily going through the middle of a line segment. So go ahead and make sure you practice this a few times until you can, feel a little comfortable with it. Try moving it around a little bit instead of putting the point above the line. Maybe try it below the line. Uh, don't make it super, super high above the line because the further away your point is, the longer your segment would have to be, and the wider you'd have to open up your compass. Okay, but just try it a few times. Maybe try forming some shapes with them. See if you can construct some polygons this way. Construct a rectangle or a square or something like this. Something that you know is a right triangle, something that you know is going to use uh, right angles. So that's it for this particular construction. But like I said, go ahead and practice it a few times until you feel comfortable with it. And until next, guys, or until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and